The climate crisis dominates the headlines in the media today.
We are constantly being fed the narrative that we are failing in the fight against climate change and that the UN Sustainable Development Goals are unlikely to be achieved by 2030.
We are Nick and Talia.
And in collaboration with Startup Lounge Africa, we are embarking on a mission to tell the positive stories of sustainable innovation across the world.
By meeting some of the most innovative entrepreneurs in the sustainability space,
who are implementing solutions that their countries, regions, and our planet require to thrive.
And most importantly, we want to show that if we get behind and scale up these innovations, we can, in fact, achieve the UN's SDGs.
This is our sustainable world.
We're filming a documentary on sustainable innovation, and this is episode 13. We've continued our journey in Malawi to meet a fashion business who are using their profits to empower female entrepreneurs all across the country. Maya Miko are working hard to provide accessible, affordable training to some of the most disadvantaged women, giving them the skills to successfully run small businesses producing food, clothing, and other services in their local communities.
At the moment, we've sort of trained about 1,000 women in the last 18 months.
We even cover a little secret about an ex-member of the British royal family, but you'll have to watch the episode to find out.
She wore a dress made by Maya Miko.
Really?
Yes.
This is Malawi, a beautiful, luscious country supported heavily by its agricultural industry. However, this low-income country's GDP is roughly 220 times smaller than that of the UK, and this environment is making it very difficult for people to thrive, especially the nearly 70% of women in Malawi who live below the international poverty line. Women play a vital role in Malawi's economy, taking on roles in informal occupations such as domestic labour, street vending, or small-scale farming. However, on average, women earn 64% of what Malawian men are making in similar roles, and only 23% of those who earn land independently in Malawi are women. This gap in pay and ownership translates heavily to their ability to support themselves and their families, and in turn their positions in society and their access to opportunities such as further education. It is because of this that Paola Masperi founded the Maya Miko Trust back in 2008 to provide training opportunities to these women and give them a better chance of success in the work that they were already doing.
And so this concept of choice is really what drove me to develop Maya Miko. What would women do if they had the choice? What would they need to be in a position to make choices that they feel good about, that they feel that sort of supporting their families, their children, their community? And one of the skills that was really in demand from all the women that we spoke with was tailoring and sewing. This is because it's a flexible skill. It can be done as a business. It can be done in employment. It can be done informally in people's spare time. And so it was the type of skill that really fitted around the many responsibilities that the women we were speaking with had to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Maya Miko's sustainable development approach, focused on skills training and coupled with economic opportunities, were created through the profits of the Maya Miko fashion brand.
It's in two parts. There's Maya Miko Trust, and then there's the fashion side of Maya Miko, which is called Maya Miko Design. And Maya Miko Design used to operate locally in Malawi, but 5 years ago they decided they wanted to close that part of Maya Miko. That's when Tatenda Clothing Limited came into partnership with Maya Miko. Have you heard about the Meghan Markle story when she came to Africa?
No.
Also, the day that she got to Africa and South Africa, she wore a dress made by Maya Miko.
Really?
Yes, so it's called a Daliso dress. So this is the design, just in a different print, but yeah, this is it.
Those women that wanted to be entrepreneurs, that wanted to run their own business, it wasn't enough for them to be excellent tailors or seamstresses. They also needed the business skills, the financial literacy skills, the sort of market research skills that sort of are required to run a business successfully. And so over time, we developed a curriculum of business training or business literacy that we offered to women alongside the tailoring and sewing training.
Okay, so in most cases, you are recruiting women that already have their own business.
Yes. Yeah, most of these women are doing businesses, but they are very, very small businesses. And so we are just trying to teach them how to do them better, or to teach them how to explore other businesses, because most of these women are doing the same businesses in the villages. So we want them to explore other things, to learn that there are bigger possibilities, not just to grow one type of crop or to do one kind of business. So that's what we're going to teach them. So it's a lot of group work, it's a lot of question and answer, it's a lot of learning from peers to get them to fully understand the concepts, because sometimes it is a challenge for someone like me just to come out with big words. But if you are telling them to explain things about their businesses, it's easier for them to understand. So it's a lot of peer learning and group interaction.
When they finish the training, if you meet them 6 months later, they're a completely different person. They could have started a business or not, but you can tell, even by the time they're hitting 3 months, you can tell that something has changed. There's light on their face. So seeing that each and every day, each and every time I meet these people, keeps me going.
We learn new things. We listen very attentively to what the people we work with tell us that they need, and shift and change our programs and our activities based on that, with that sort of really clear vision that My Amico exists so that women thrive.
Ine nditapanga maphunziro amene aja anandithandiza kwambiri, chifukwa poyamba ndingangopanga bizinesi osadziwa phindu. Nditaphunzira maphunziro amene aja anandithandiza kulemba bizinesi imene ndikupanga, kumaona kuti ndaoda katundu kwa ndalama zingati, ndagulitsa motere, ndapeza profit motere. Ndikagulitsa bizinesi yanga ndimadziwa kuti ndi ndi phindu lotere.
Titapanga maphunziro aja zinandiphunzitsa kuyamba bizinesi, ndikudziwa kusunga ndalama, kumabweranso kugulu kuno kuzasheya. Komanso ndinaphunzira kusamaliranso banja langa, komanso kuthandiza mwana ngakhala amene ali ku sukulu kuchokera mu phunziro limenelo chifukwa cha bizinesi imene ndikupanga.
Ndipo katikati tinadzagula chimanga chimene tinachisunga kuti tichigulitse, ndipo chimanga chija tachigulitsa, chimene tikuyembekezera kuti phindu la bizinesi ya gulu yonso tikamati tikugawana masheya kumene konso tinyotsera pang'ono kuti tigawanenso kuti tiyambirenso bizinesi.
My view and my long-term objective was always for the team on the ground to share ownership and feel really, empowered to own and run the business and take it into a direction that they felt was right for them as a community, as a company, and for the Malawian context.
What has surprised me is how quickly they can get concepts when you're teaching them. It's not very hard for them to grasp the concepts because they have been running businesses, and I think their practical experience just grounds everything.
I would love to see My Amico get to all the parts of Malawi and beyond the borders in the next 5 years. If we could be able to reach 3,000 or 10,000 women, it's easy, it just needs support. People can support the idea.
Textiles on the continent and in Malawi are wonderful and so iconic, and therefore we have a real opportunity to continue that work and grow it in a way that is really organic and it's sort of sustainable not just as a business, but sort of with environmental sustainability at its core.
What keeps me going, it's the hope in these women's faces. Every time I see them, they look at me, they're like, oh my gosh, this is the answer. This is what we've been looking for. So it's that hope, those bright eyes when they look at me, keeps me going.